Oh,
We're really live. Happy Friday, everyone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you.
Likewise, it's been a while since we've all been together at once on a Friday.
It is. We don't have Debbie with us, but you all that are watching, tomorrow's her birthday, in case you wanted to send her any birthday vibes.
We should have put like a big sign out front or something, like honk twice for Debbie's birthday, but I guess we wouldn't be here.
Today is one of our clients' birthday, and we've been friends for a long time. And he and I were in the same place in North Carolina 34 years ago in different cars driving back to Indianapolis. And I put a sign in the back of my car, tell him to honk when they pass his car for all those miles.
That's genius, man. That is really cool.
It was, I was harassing him about it already this morning, how cool that was. So, all right. Let's rock and roll.
Hey, wait. Oh, never mind. There was actually a disclaimer on there that I thought was pretty cool. Who added the one about the S&P 500 index?
LPL.
What does it say?
The S&P 500 index is a capitalization weighted index of 500 stocks designed to measure performance of the broad domestic economy through changes in the aggregate market value of 500 stocks representing all major industries. There's a little definition.
I wonder if anybody knows what that means. I mean, that's a lot.
No.
Can I share what I think that means? Here's my opinion.
Go for it.
And we can switch off this, Amanda. So the S&P 500 index, we talk about this a lot. We highlight it all the time. So when someone says, hey, Doug, what's the stock market going to do? What has the stock market done? The stock market is down. The stock market is up. What does that even mean? And so our friends at LPL, they suggested that we have that up on our disclaimer list. No one even knows what it means. And so I want to share just real quickly what the S&P 500, and some of you know this, you may know this, but it's 500 stocks. And that stock index, that stock basket of companies could be weighted a couple different ways. It could be weighted on the size of the company. It could be weighted on the portion that they represent amongst their peers. And so when you hear somebody talk about the S&P 500, it could actually mean a couple different things. But at the base of it, it's 500 stocks, and that's all it is. There's thousands of stocks out there. And so when you hear the stock market's going up or the stock market's going down, it's either the S&P 500 stocks, the Dow Jones, which just has 30 stocks in it, could be the NASDAQ, could be a whole bunch of stuff. But basically what people are asking is, how's my money doing? How's this look? What's this look like for my family? And so those are individual conversations. It's just like the economy. Hey, the economy is doing bad. The economy is doing great. I mean, well, what does that even mean? We got to dig a little deeper. And that's what we hope to do for you today. Is just dig a little deeper and keep it simple.
Can you put that back up there, Amanda?
Oh no, I hold on. I completely exited out of it because I didn't. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Give me a minute. There you go.
Yeah, so when we look at that, and this is true with all the paperwork you guys have been getting from us. I'm not sure this stuff is really there to protect you guys. I think it's to protect somebody else, because if you just look at the word capitalization weighted, neither one of those make any sense to an ordinary person. I don't think. Capitalization, like if we ask you all to define that, and then weighted, what does that even really mean? And so our goal, I think a lot of times on these calls, is to help explain things to you in a way that better informs you to better make decisions, to settle your emotions and your thought processes down. And so most any disclaimers you get from our industry are not there to protect you, in case you didn't know that. And so that's all I wanted to point out, is
For
that,
your safety,
yeah,
disclaimers.
yeah. So just in case you were thinking they were there to protect you, they are there to protect somebody else. But our goal is to inform you so you might be better prepared for the future. And we have no ability to tell you what the future is going to be, but hopefully we can help you think better in a way that you can be more peaceful about all the uncertainty before you.
Yeah, good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
We
talk
haven't
about
had
the
these
economy.
disclaimers up this much ever. So.
Yeah, let's talk about the economy. I created this document today because I was corrected in my own thought processes earlier today, and thought I would make that available to you all to help you. Is because I've probably said and I've probably written that a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of declining gross domestic product, which again, there's one of those words you probably won't understand, but it's basically how productive is the economy is what that tells you. And so this down here, hopefully you guys can see this down here is Google's definition, is that a recession is that temporary, hopefully temporary economic decline. We've had, I think some of our friends in Zimbabwe or
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, a lot of places it's not been too temporary, but traditionally that's what I've probably said. And the economists we think very highly of, Brian Westbury, corrected me today. And he said a recession, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, is a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts for more than a few months. That's kind of the essence of what he said. And because technically we hit in the latest update on the GDP for the latest quarter, a Google definition of a recession, but most of the economic activity going on out there is not receding back. You see corporate earnings going up, you see a lot of very positive things going on. And just because that's going on, Westbury wasn't overly optimistic. He was optimistic for the near term and thinks the market's probably a good time to buy. But what he was saying was that the sugar high from all the money that the government and the Federal Reserve have pumped into the economy probably isn't going to hit till sometime next year. It's not going to probably hit this year. And so you can relax and not get too stressed out about it. And he was concerned because a lot of economists that maybe were trained similar to him let their political opinions get in the way of what's really going on in the economy.
Yeah, I stole a book from your bookshelf last week, Keith. The basics of economy, or
Sowell?
Yeah, Tom Sowell. And I've been reading through that this week, and one of the things that he highlighted is economics. It's a study, and it's a study that people have been studying for years, whether they're communist, capitalist, socialist. Everyone is interested in economics, and everyone is interested in inputs and outputs. And so those things are the basics of what economics are. And right now you are hearing a lot of talk bent on whatever political view someone has. And so as you're looking to that, I would encourage you guys just to keep your eyes looking forward on what innovation is happening out there, what efficiencies are happening. And that's really what leads the way for better growth, for whether that be measured by a country or a society, their wealth. As long as there's freedom to create and innovate, that's the stuff that keeps things going.
Yeah, the unemployment is low. There's just a lot of things that are going on now that suggest things are reasonably okay. I was thinking about unemployment. I don't really know how, I haven't considered how that calculation is done, because with low unemployment, there's still a lot of help wanted out there. And so where did all those human beings go in the last 36 months that made unemployment so low, and yet there's a lot of job openings out there?
Yeah, my perception is a lot of those human beings that were working in a place maybe are receiving their government checks right now. They're like, you know what? I can live on Social Security, and I think I'm just going to do that. And so that's my perception is we really have lost a large number of experienced workforce.
Yeah, and then my rant about our government with not unemployment, inflation will continue today. The inflation, in my notes here I wrote it down that inflation measured by the consumer price index was up 9.1% at the end of last month. That's the 7th consecutive month where that it's increased more than 7%. 7th consecutive. Remember months ago we were told it's transitory. Remember that word?
Yeah, transitory.
Yeah. However, there's a lot of room for improvement, because the record between 1978 and 1982 was 45 consecutive months of increased inflation of 7%. So there's room for improvement. But this week, my rant about inflation came in 2 different areas. One was in my house. I was washing my hands and I hit the liquid soap dispenser, and it shot out at me like a bullet. And the producer of that, and then Connie told me it's the same brand, the producer of that liquid soap dispenser evidently added more water to their design, which I'm not against the producer, because they have to adjust,
control their variables.
Yeah, they have to adjust to what inflation is going on, but it was very noticeable that it was a different texture than what it has been. So I thought that was funny. And then I was downtown with Connie and my daughter Kristen earlier this week, and Kristen wanted a cup of coffee and a breakfast sandwich from a national coffee chain. And so I got it and brought it back to her where we were. And when we opened it, it turned out to be a breakfast cracker rather than a breakfast sandwich. The size was so small that it was very comical.
Inputs, outputs.
Yeah,
that's all this stuff really is.
Yeah, so the inflation thing is going on. I wanted to show you a chart of something that really intrigued me as well, though, that maybe is contradictory to both things we've just said. How's that? Keep contradicting ourselves and we'll sound like true economists. Here is here's the market, and here is a component measured by this exchange traded fund. We're not recommending this. This is risky. Don't buy this. This has nothing to do with a portfolio for you. This is only for an example. I don't know if I can give you a better disclaimer than that, but this is the US copper index, and copper would be a good indicator of inflation. And you can see over here in March timeframe, the copper ETF topped out at $30 a share, and now you can buy all you want of it at 21, which is basically about a 40% or a 33% drop almost of what's going on there. And so why that's intriguing to me is usually your metals will reflect inflationary kind of things, which it's not. And what drives prices for some commodities is supply and demand. Well, your copper is going to go into automobiles. It's going to go into a lot of home appliances. It's going to go into heating and air conditioning things. These are all aspects of the strength of the economy. And clearly there's been less demand for copper than what there was a few months ago, which might have all been part of the whole COVID lockdown thing, where people came out and were building up their houses and making a lot of changes and buying all new appliances. So maybe all that settled down. But
speaking of copper, I just love how things change. Like my great grandmother had a beautiful house in Muncie, Indiana, beautiful house, and it had copper gutters. I don't know anybody throwing copper on their gutters these days.
That is fun.
I bet that's quite expensive. And so things change, and aluminum and vinyl gutters are probably the thing now. I don't know, but to think that, you know, copper is a resource that is used in several different applications, and that's part of economics. Is what is this stuff going to be used for? And throughout change and innovation, we are using raw products and making them unique for something else. And so those applications are really important.
Yeah, well, the economy, it ebbs and flows. So, you know, you were talking about earlier, what is the stock market, and it isn't what you might think it is. It's something different. It'd be like saying, what is the car market, right? Like there's different aspects of the car market, and like the used car market probably has seen the strongest kind of evolution of what it does probably ever in the last couple of years, but it's probably not going to remain that way as production gets back up in the automotive industry and starts bringing more new cars to the market.
We talk about the stock market all the time. Keith has made mention that we follow 197 different industry groups, and to go back to the S&P 500, the financial industry dissects the S&P 500 into 11 different areas, 11 different markets. It could be utilities, it could be technology, financials, but we take it a little step further, and there's 197 different groups. So if you think about technology, you have cloud computing, you have internet, you have software, you have hardware, and all of these areas of the market capture unique places for the investor. And so those are the types of things that we're looking at and trying to say, hey, what's getting traction right now, and why are they getting traction? Is this something that we can get behind or not? And really, the markets, the study of the price movements, or the study of the buyers and the sellers, help guide us as to what to do.
Yeah, and several months ago, I came up with this kind of review of what's actually going on with the general kind of overview of the market. How well are stocks performing relative to their moving averages? And I updated that this week. I'll share the screen with you to kind of give you an idea where we've been. Like we hit a point out here the first week of July where most of the stocks in our database were 9,670 then, and most of them were below their 21-day moving average, their 50-day moving average, and their 200-day moving average, which that was, you know, mid to late June into July. And now we've seen that starting to turn around where some of these things act as though they're bottoming out. We've seen the problem, you know, people aren't, the companies aren't going down below their 21-day average like they were, and they're rebounding towards their 50-day. And it gives us encouragement, I think, to really start getting our toes back in the water on this thing. And so the longer term, you know, we're still below the 200-day moving average on a lot of those companies. But we're seeing, let me switch over here to the NASDAQ. So we see this bottoming going on right here with the NASDAQ, and this level we're at right here today is really, I think, an important level to see if it can hold this. We've come through the 50-day moving average and starting to get some strength and some broadening of the market. If we flip over to the S&P 500, it's a very similar thing, but we still have this line of, I think, resistance above this 41.75 level. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see us add some positions back into your portfolios with this kind of a rebound.
Something very basic but often overlooked is to the left of that chart. If you just, my eye always goes back to the highs. And so if you go back to the high, there are several thousand shares of stuff that have been purchased in between that high and where we are today. And so there's a lot of investors out there who are saying to themselves, once this thing gets back up to the high, I'm out of here. Or they might be saying, once this thing gets back up to where I paid for it, I will feel good again. But there's still an abundance of pessimism out there. And so we want to be cautious about that.
Yeah, and so you can see, if you just compare the NASDAQ chart and how far we've come off of that versus the S&P 500 over here. The magnitude of the drop from the NASDAQ is pretty substantial. And so even with this rally we've seen here, we're still down 25% from where it peaked out, which is pretty painful. Thankfully, we got a lot of the money out of the market long before this took place on the NASDAQ side. We probably got stung a little longer on the S&P side. We tried to kind of hold as long as we could with this. But again, both of those took a lot of punishment in 2022 so far. And if the stock market does lead the economy, which we believe it does, then we'll see the market rallying before really you see the economy coming through whatever difficulties. Yeah. So that's a picture of the marketplace there and what's going on there. And what other things did you have that was on your mind today, Doug?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to anybody who's employed today, or maybe you are employing others. Keith and I have a friend. His name's Aaron Walker. He is an encourager of people. He's a business person. He's an entrepreneur. And he put out a message on Facebook. I know you like to put out encouraging messages on Facebook, Keith. And Aaron's one of those guys that I'll click on his Facebook page from time to time just to get a shot of encouragement. And he said a couple things this week that I thought were just awesome. And so if you're getting ready to ramp it up in life, I know if you're about my age, you've got kids who are going back to school. Your family's about ready to go through another change of routine. And I just want to encourage you. These are words from Aaron, not from me. But he says, believe in yourself to get past the rejections in life. And he said, life is full of all types of perceived killers. And those could be accidents, those could be illnesses, those could be something someone says to you. It could be your ability to deal with feedback. It could be all kinds of stuff. But at some point in time, got to get to the place where you can just take a step out in faith and go for it, and to take courage and take risks and just have some positive movement, even if that's coming into an area that's been difficult for you, or talking with somebody that's been tough, or maybe it's technology that just has your head spinning. Just take a step forward of movement, and if you need help, raise your hand and ask for help. And so just want to encourage you, if you're out there in the corporate world, or you own a small business, whatever you're doing through your work, it matters. Your profession matters. It matters because it's all people type business. And it also matters because Keith and I love to talk about the stock market and your investments, but your best investment is the ability to learn and keep going forward.
That is a great word. One of my favorite books. And if you want a copy, I'll just hit me up and I'll send you one for being in attendance today. If you're watching this on our website, maybe I'll split the cost with you. But no, I'm kidding. The book is called The Balcony People. It's I don't even know if I can say this. It's got a little more feminine cover to it than what I'm normally accustomed to. But the idea of the balcony people is our brain has the capacity of a balcony, like in an opera. The balcony seats in the opera are those are the luxury seats. Those are where the celebrities and the affluent and the big influencers sit in the balcony. And what the point of the book is that you have a balcony in your thought process of who do you let close to you to speak into your life. And those balcony people, the people sitting in the best seats, need to be the people lifting you up, the people encouraging you. And if there's people in your balcony that aren't doing that, they need to get in the general admission seats. Their voice needs to go down, and you need to select who you're going to put in that balcony. But one of the ways I've found to increase my attitude towards more positive is to seat myself in a lot of people's balconies, because you can't really stop me from being in your balcony. and cheering you on. And so the more I found that I cheer others on, the more I cheer myself on, and it affects your mindset considerably. And one of the things I'd ask you today is that we know that your attitude towards things will greatly affect your health. And so that if you are struggling with any kind of attitudes negatively with regards to your finances, the only way we know is if you call us and let us know, because we can probably help navigate you through this season of difficulty in the markets, help you maybe reset your thought process and be in your balcony for success with your finances, because we'd hate for your finances to lead to some medical challenges. But a client and I were speaking this morning. He retired from the medical industry, and he's just pointing out the reality of that fact that your attitude and your thought process greatly impacts your health.
Yeah, that's a good word. Well, that's all I have for today. It is a privilege to come on this Zoom and just be with you guys in your living room as you're having a cup of coffee or whatever you're doing. I'm grateful for you guys. And if you have questions or you're concerned about the barrage of stuff that we've been sending out to you, please give us a call. Tell us what you're thinking, and then we can also help. We've got a great team of people here with different skill sets. Some of us are better at listening than others, and some of us are better at technology than others, and we can help. We can help as a team. And so we want to do that with you.
And honestly, I'd say, frankly, we are concerned about all the paperwork, and we want to navigate with you the best we can and help you see how to get from point A to point B, because paperwork is definitely not my strong suit. However, it's just the nature of the beast of our business. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing you. And if you know of friends who are struggling with their finance and have questions, send them the link, let them join us. We are happy to have others join us. They can go to our website. How long do you have to wait? Is it just 3 or 4 days before this will be up on the website, do you think?
Yeah.
And so you can, if they don't want to join us here, they can jump on our gimbalfinancial.com and check us out there. And you guys have a spectacular weekend.
See you guys.